Okay, I want to talk about what's going on in Gaza right now. So, yesterday I was watching a segment that Anna Kasparian was doing, and it had pictures of. There's a picture of a little girl standing in basically a wasteland everywhere around her. It was basically just massive piles of concrete, shattered concrete from what used to be buildings. There was the skeleton of one building in the background. It's just like this little girl standing in the middle of that. Um, and, Anna pointed out, what's under all that rubble is more bodies that people haven't even found yet. So you listen to the official statistics of how many people have died. That's an undercount. They're not counting all the people buried under the rubble. Um, they murdered an 11-year-old girl in cold blood. She was just going to get some water. I might be confusing two different stories there, but that's the sort of stuff that's happening. They've done the stuff with the food aid sites where they starve the entire population for months on end, put the food aid in the middle of designated combat zones just so they have an excuse to murder people going to get food. They have a program called Where's Daddy, which is what that's referring to is they have this AI system that says somebody might be a Hamas terrorist, and dad comes home, and they wait till he comes home, then murder him with his entire family. They call the program Where's Daddy, which is kind of a flip name for something that kills, it's kills entire families just to get one guy. So, I mean, these are seriously sociopathic people. And they've bought off our politicians, and, America's complicit in funding this, and the left has, they've put out a lot of propaganda to try to discredit America, discredit the founding fathers, say we shouldn't listen to what the Declaration of Independence says because it was really just a smokescreen to kill the Native Americans, and the British were really the good guys who were fighting to defend the sovereignty of the Native Americans and, against the evil founding fathers. But why does the left get away with that? Well, it's because they do bring up some bad things America's done in the past. We should have abolished slavery when the American Revolution happened. We didn't. We did do some fucked up stuff to the Native Americans. But, we've moved past some of the stuff we did in the past, but, what's going on in Gaza right now, we can't move past it. Like, that sort of, every single person who dies there is another stain on the history of this country. And it's because we got dragged into something by corrupt politicians, corrupt special interests, people who want to serve a foreign government at the expense of this country. And we've been waging this war on terror. We spent $8 trillion on it. And half of our wars we fight in the Middle East are helping the same terrorists who attacked us on 9/11, and it's all to benefit Israel. And we've had our freedoms taken away. There was a point in time in this country where it wasn't normal to expect the government was reading our private communications. It wasn't normal for the government to be running a concentration camp in Cuba for 20 years to put Muslims who they just grabbed randomly, and just none of them, there's no evidence any of them are actual terrorists. They've just been kept there for 20 years just because everyone forgot about them. That's America's legacy at this point, and we're not coming back from it, and we're never going to regain our honor. We might regain our freedom someday. We're never going to regain our honor from all the bullshit that Israel's dragged us into. And what is the cultural left done when they've been in power? They've let in a bunch of foreigners who flooded the country. They've told us we have to respect their culture. The burden's not on them, the people who came here from somewhere else, to respect our culture. We have to respect their culture. And meanwhile, they're pushing out this propaganda trying to discredit the Founding Fathers, and they get to do more of that now because of what we've done in Gaza. So, what's the point of this video? What was the point of this video? There's a lot of reason for us to be pissed off. But I also wanted to make a point. There's people who might be coming from a different place than we are who are also pissed off and have good reason to be pissed off. And one of the left strategies is and I'm talking about the cultural left here. One of their strategies is to appeal to racial minorities who do have a lot of anger because of how they've been treated in the past. And the story that the left is putting out, which I can understand why this would appeal to someone who's a minority, is that the problems of the past haven't been effectively solved, and white people aren't listening to them, and they're disproportionately impacted by the economic consequences of the corruption on the part of the elites, and white people aren't listening to them complaining about their problems, but the left is going to listen. So, and I think that that's a narrative that we should take seriously, because I can see how it would be very persuasive. But what I really wanted to get to, the point I really wanted to get to, is there are, of course, infringements on our ability to speak freely about the corruption on both sides of the equation, and it means that people basically have to walk on eggshells to avoid, because we're afraid if we say the wrong thing, we could lose our jobs, have our lives ruined. And, there's groups like Canary Mission out there who are trying to do exactly that. And so we don't have the ability to express how we really feel. I also don't think that the points of agreement that we would have with the left are actually all that far beneath the surface. And I would say it's important for everyone to be well-grounded, given what society is going through right now. If you can find circles of people who you feel comfortable expressing how you feel, do it. And try to be a positive force in the lives of people around you. And obviously that's not a limitless commitment. Some people are going to make bad decisions no matter what you do, and don't waste your time with those people. But, some people just need to be lifted up. And they need to be supported where they're doing the right thing. Don't support people where they're not doing the right thing. And when I say doing the right thing, I mean developing healthy sentiments that are going to lead to the emergence of ideas that will steer the political discourse in a better direction. The discourse and the ability of the people to come together to stand against the elites. And, coming together, that's also there's a part of you that wants to say, well, fuck you, fuck those people, because they've treated us all so badly. But so I'm not saying that's an easy process. And I do think we should also hold the left accountable to be decent people and stop screwing with us, stop trying to hurt us. But we shouldn't lose sight of the end goal, which is we come together, we free America from the Zionists, and we're going to be a functioning democracy with a sovereign government. We don't work for any foreign countries, and we're not going to be part of this crap going on in Gaza anymore. We're getting out of the Middle East. We're done. That's what we should be. That should be the end goal, and we got to do what we got to do to get there.